Very much, Tanya. Good afternoon and welcome to Supervisor Barger's weekly Altadena Community Meeting. We have a few short presentations and then we will transition to question and answers, answering first questions that have been pre-submitted by community members. As a reminder, Zoom attendees can submit questions in real time using the question and answer function that's on your screen. Agency representatives are on this Zoom meeting and they are responding to you live. Please note that questions that are submitted to the YouTube live chat will not be answered. We will add for your convenience into the YouTube live chat the link to be able to submit questions via the Zoom meeting. We have a series of presentations, but first up, we have some remarks by Supervisor Kathryn Barger.
Sorry, I apologize. Interpretation is not set up yet.
We'll give it a minute. When will it be set up?
Thank you. I see a sign that or a message that says language and sign language available. Click here to get started. So I think we're ready.
All right. Thank you for joining us today. I first want to share that last week, my motion to defer permit fees for all rebuilds related to the fires was unanimously approved. While the motion did reference like for like, our Chief Executive Officer's report will bring back recommendations to defer fees for all rebuilds. My goal is to ensure that no fees need to be paid while the county identifies the funding to waive them. My expectation is the report will not only detail a plan to defer all permit fees for a set period of time, hopefully at least 2 years, but will also lay a path forward to ultimately waive them entirely. I have heard from many residents whose insurance policies do not have sufficient coverage to rebuild their homes. Permit fees are one of the first hurdles that property owners face in rebuilding, and we do not want them to be the reason why someone chooses not to rebuild. In regards to the current pace of issuing building permits, we are simply not meeting the mark. I hear your frustrations, and quite frankly, I share them. 15 permits have been issued for all Altadena, when more than 200 building plans have been issued. That's far behind where we should be. That's why I've once again directed Public Works to drill down on the issue. We must understand where the bottlenecks are, the roots of the delays, and how we fix them now. While I have brought in multiple motions to streamline this process, it is clear that more work needs to be done, and I'm rolling up my sleeves to dive into the details. Recovery cannot nor should not wait. I am committed to accelerating this process and bringing transparency and urgency to every part of it. We are also making a shift on how we deliver recovery services. The Disaster Recovery Center closed on May 31st, so now many of the county departments and state and federal agencies will be relocating from Woodbury Road to the Altadena Community Center. We're committed to continuing to make services accessible in this new setting. And finally, I know there's been a great deal of concern around mail service in the aftermath of the fire. I am glad that we have a representative from the United States Postal Service here today to share an update on the future of postal services in Altadena. Reliable communication and delivery are critical in all matters, and I will continue to push for clear answers and concrete solutions. Thank you for your continued determination and for holding all of us accountable.
Thank you, Supervisor Barger. We'll now move on to our first presentation from the Army Corps of Engineers on the update and the progress on the debris removal program that they're implementing, and we have Colonel Sunny Avichal.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Supervisor, for allowing me to speak today. So first, I'm going to start with a general update on where we are on progress, and then I'll dive a little deeper into specific issues and a little bit about the path forward. So for awareness right now, we have just under 5,712 rights of entry for us to work on. That's an increase of about 50 since my last update, which is about 2 weeks ago. And we have about 510 personnel who have opted out of the program. As of today, we have 56 debris removal crews in Altadena. This has been a reduction over the last few weeks as we continue to show progress throughout the area. In terms of cleared properties, we have removed the fire ash debris from 5,150, and that is just over 90% of the properties that we currently have in our workload. Also, as of today, we have completed and returned the rights of entry for 3,725 properties back to the county. That's about 65% of the properties. So as we continue to crew down, you should see less trucks on the road and less debris crews on the streets. Some updates about where we are going in the future. So we are still awaiting a decision from FEMA regarding the inclusion of commercial properties within Altadena. We do believe we should have that decision within the next week. We are also awaiting at some point the abatement properties as well. So these are the properties where the homeowner or the property owner either opted out of the program and was not able to execute the debris removal, or they did neither opt in nor opt out. The deadline for the county to give those properties to us is 15 July. And then, when this whole operation started, we did have some homeowners who requested to be towards the tail end of this. And we were making individualized phone calls to those folks to let them know that the tail is near. And so we're trying to get them in queue right now to be able to do their debris removal. I wanted to give two quick updates as well. One about the Altadena golf course. So as we start to prepare to consolidate our operations on the golf course, last week we did stay a little bit later. We did work at night just to take out some mulch piles. And so as we continue to ramp down our operations at the golf course, we may do some later operations, maybe once a week or so, going into the future. The next time we are going to do that is this coming Wednesday night. Again, it will just be to remove mulch piles and start to consolidate our footprint so we can start the restoration process sooner. The other update I'd like to give is trees. We are continuing, just for awareness, we are continuing to remove just hazardous trees on people's property, and hazardous is defined as 3 criteria. So at least 6 inches in diameter, tall enough to where if it were to fall, it would fall either on the right of way or an improved structure, and then projected to die within 5 years. Those are the criteria that we use. Just want to let people know, before we cut down any trees on your property, we will try and contact you via text message as well as phone call, just to make sure that everybody understands exactly which trees have been identified as a hazard, and we have your permission to take those trees. And then finally, we do have a number of special inclusion properties that are in our workload. I think there's about 17 of them right now, one of which is the Bunny Museum. And so we are actively pursuing those and doing debris removal on those properties. Okay, so that concludes my update, and I will remain on the line for any questions. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Colonel. Next, we will be hearing from Public Works and Regional Planning, updates on permit timelines, average review of timelines, and progress in that regard. First up, we have Director of Regional Planning, Amy Bodek, followed by a few representatives from Public Works. Director Bodek.
Hi, Helen. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you all again. And I'd like to introduce Luis Ramirez, who is the Deputy Director in Public Works overseeing rebuild activity, and Kira Barnett, who's an Assistant Deputy Director also at Los Angeles County Public Works. They're going to provide an overview on a number of issues related to rebuilding, including permit numbers. So Kira, looks like you're keyed up to take it away. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Amy. Good afternoon, everybody. And if we could move to the next slide. Today, I'll start with an update on the maintenance of damaged streets. Altadena has approximately 123 centerline miles maintained by Public Works, and approximately 82 centerline miles of roadway are within the fire perimeter. Several planned projects for the paving season are currently paused due to recovery efforts. These include 5 resurfacing projects, including a 3-phase resurface project in Census Tract 4603.02 and resurfacing along Lincoln Avenue and Lake Avenue. Initial assessment for pavement and concrete post-fire was completed prior to recovery efforts. This inspection included 18.1 miles of sidewalk, 55.6 miles of curb and gutter, and approximately 5,000 driveway aprons. Public Works is conducting patchable work within the road right-of-way, and destroyed driveway aprons and sidewalks will be removed or backfilled with decomposed granite in the interim until permanent repairs are scheduled. Related to parkway trees, there are 12,700 parkway trees within the Altadena area, 9,500 of which are trees within the Eaton fire area. Approximately 1,000 trees have been removed as of today, including 73 oak trees. Approximately 3,000 parkway trees are on quarterly monitoring for Public Works arborists for recovery. When properties rebuild or reoccupy, property owners may work with Public Works to request a parkway tree. Lincoln Avenue Bridge was impacted by the Eaton fire, and the load rating was reduced to 7 tons. Subsequent monitoring has revealed additional deterioration, and the bridge was fully closed on May 14th. A temporary bridge is scheduled to be completed by the end of September 2025, and a permanent bridge design is slated for the future. And if we could move to the next slide, please. So this is a map showing the Eaton fire burn area, and the orange lines showed there are those reconstruction projects, repaving projects that are currently on hold during recovery. And then if we could move to the next slide, please. I'll switch to an update on permit progress. Shown here on screen is our current recovery dashboard as of today. 610 applications have been received by LA County for rebuilds in the Eaton fire burn area. Planning review first for what is proposed to be built and where on the site. Planning have cleared 351 applications. Once full building plans are prepared and submitted, a project progresses into the plan review stage for review of how the structure is proposed to be built. We had been receiving about 15 to 20 submittals per week, and this last week, I'm happy to report that we received 53 full plan submittal applications, which is a quarter of the submittals received to date. 14 rebuild permits have been issued in the Altadena area. Continuing to the next slide for permit approval timelines. So LA County has streamlined the application process by creating one unified application for all 4 permitting departments: County Fire, Public Health, Public Works, and Regional Planning. Eaton fire survivors can submit rebuilding permit applications in person at the Altadena One Stop Permit Center at 464 West Woodbury Road in Altadena, or online at epicla.lacounty.gov. All departments are committed to expediting reviews. Rebuild projects will be reviewed within 10 business days for initial reviews and 5 business days for any additional reviews. Applications are internally routed to all county departments for concurrent review, which removes the burden of following up with each department from the applicant. And if we could move to the next slide, please. As the number of applications submitted has increased, our turnaround timelines continue to improve. For example, early on, planning were taking longer for reviews. This graph shows the number of days for reviews on the left and the number of submittals on the right. As the submittal count has increased, as depicted by the blue line and that solid blue block, so that shows how our submittals have increased over time. And then the orange line shows the turnaround times have been reducing. So planning currently average 3 business days for reviews, and building are averaging 5 business days for those initial reviews. And again, all permitting departments are committed to 10 business days for initial reviews and 5 business days for additional reviews. And if we can move to the next slide, please. LA County launched a new pre-approved plans program to help homeowners save time and money as they begin rebuilding. Designers can now submit home plans for pre-approval by planning and building. And once approved, these plans will be added to a catalog for fire survivors to consider. These plans will have already been reviewed for compliance with LA County zoning and building codes, significantly shortening the permitting timeline if selected. Homeowners who want to consider selecting a pre-approved plan can work directly with the designer. If it is decided to proceed with a pre-approved plan option, then review of only the site plan, energy calcs, and agency clearances will be required to be ready for permit issuance. This process eliminates the need for a full design from scratch, and the plans are already substantially approved, which will reduce time and review costs for fire survivors. The program includes a variety of housing options, including single-family homes and accessory dwelling units. 28 pre-approved plans have been submitted for review, and planning have approved 19. 11 of those pre-approved plans have submitted full building design plans and are under review by the building department. Once the plans are approved, information will be posted online so that property owners can connect with the designers. Once available, we encourage homeowners still exploring the rebuilding options to review the pre-approved plan catalog, which will be available on the county's recovery site. And if we can move to the next slide, please. LA County continues to consider innovative new methods and systems to help us move beyond traditional building and permitting approaches, including the concept of self-certification. 2 weeks ago, we rolled out our new Building Plan Check Self-Certification pilot program. Under the program, California licensed architects and engineers can self-certify that their building plans comply with the LA County Building Code, rather than having LA County Public Works building officials conduct full building plan check reviews. This will streamline plan reviews and help homeowners rebuild faster. Eligible projects include the replacement of a single-family home, accessory dwelling unit, or a pertinent structure damaged by the Eaton fire and located in unincorporated LA County. Architects and engineers who self-certify on behalf of their clients and themselves will be responsible for the accuracy of the plans they prepare. Plans are subject to random audits. A minimum of 20% of self-certified plans submitted will be audited to ensure code compliance. Approval from other LA County departments, including planning, public health, and fire, will continue to be required prior to the issuance of a building permit. Details of the pilot self-certification program are on our recovery.lacounty.gov website and will continue to be updated. So far, 27 professionals have applied to register for self-certification, and 9 have been cleared to proceed with self-certifying design plans. And if we could move to the next slide, please. As far as additional resources, a new Road to Rebuilding page has been added to the recovery.lacounty.gov rebuilding page, which will serve as a central hub for homeowners navigating the rebuilding process after the Eaton fire. It outlines each phase of recovery from initial site cleanup to final construction, so residents can understand what steps to take and in what order. The website features helpful guides on permitting, plan submission, and available programs like self-certification and pre-approved plans that can speed up the process. There's also an updated mapping resources on the recovery and rebuilding page that provides helpful mapping tools that allow users to view critical details about their property, including damage assessments and information such as zoning, parcel boundaries, and fire hazard areas. These interactive maps help homeowners and contractors make informed decisions about rebuilding safely and in compliance with county codes. The site also includes data on infrastructure, utilities, and environmental constraints like flood zones and potential debris flow areas, which are essential for designing resilient rebuilds. Together, these two sites provide a set of tools, checklists, and maps that empower fire-impacted homeowners in Altadena to rebuild safely and as quickly as possible. And if we can move to the next slide, please. We're continuing our series of Rebuilding Together workshops, which are currently, the next one proposed is on June 28th. It's a planned virtual workshop that will be recorded and posted online. And on June 28th, we'll be covering the Resilient Rebuilding Resource Guides. And so this information will be uploaded to our workshops page on recovery.lacounty.gov/rebuilding. And stay tuned for more of those workshops to come. And if we could move to the next slide, please. And from here, I will turn it over to Luis Ramirez to provide us a summary of abatement.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So as I've mentioned in previous meetings, we are currently working with property owners to make sure that fire ash and debris is cleared out of properties. As everybody knows, the board passed an urgency ordinance that required property owners to uh, who opted out of the government-sponsored fire debris removal program to obtain a fire debris removal permit by June 1st, which was this weekend, and to have all fire debris and ash removed from properties on the 30th. So to be able to continue to excuse me, continue to ensure that fire debris and ash is removed from properties, the county has began abatement procedures on properties that have either failed to opt in and out or out of the program, and now on those properties that opted out but did not pool or obtain the fire debris removal by June 1st. We did a first round of abatement orders in mid-May, which was to property owners that didn't opt in or out. That captured about 96 properties between Palisades and Eaton, 80 residential, 16 commercial. Out of those, there was a 7 calendar day appeal period, which ended on a midnight of May 27th. And by the end of the appeal period, we had received 53 appeals. So far, we have responded to approximately 30. And out of those, the majority have been granted. There have been 3 that were not granted. And in those cases, what we've done is urge those property owners to continue in the process of removing debris by obtaining their fire debris removal permit, and also ensuring that the fire debris is removed by the 30th. This past weekend, we sent another round of abatement orders. This time it went to approximately 139 properties. And out of those, approximately 71 were within the Eaton fire in Altadena. And this essentially was for property owners that had opted out, but as of mid last week had failed to obtain their fire debris removal permit. As with the first round of abatement orders, there will be a 7-day appeal period, which will end on the 8th of May. And again, our goal in these abatement orders is to just continue to remind property owners of the June 30th date. And as they respond to the abatement orders through appeals, we are collaborating with them to help them get their right of entry permit if it's a residential property. We are helping them get their special inclusion ROE so that the Army Corps of Engineers can clear the property at no fee. And if it's a commercial property, we're working with them to get their FDR. Ultimately, what we want to try to accomplish is that all fire and ash debris is removed by the 30th. So over the month of June, Public Works will continue to work with folks that either decide to get the special inclusion ROE and or that are working towards their FDR, the fire debris removal permit, to make sure that all work is completed by the end of the month. And that is the end of my update regarding the abatement orders related to the debris removal on properties impacted by the fires.
Thank you very much, team. Next, we're going to touch upon several public health topics, and we will hear some quick remarks first from Dr. Nicole Quick with the LA County Department of Public Health.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for having me here today. I just wanted to spend a minute here to talk about a soil lead testing program that we have rolled out recently. So this is following a board motion where public health has been directed to use up to $3 million of the county's lead paint hazard mitigation program funds to offer this large-scale residential testing. I want to just give a couple of overarching guidance related to this. This program is for properties located within the burn area, downwind, and just outside of the Eaton fire area. So these properties do qualify for free soil testing under this program. I want to urge folks to go to publichealth.lacounty.gov and look for the Eaton Fire Soil Testing Program banner on that homepage. This will take you to our detailed webpage that goes through the simple collection steps related to this program. So essentially, folks are going to be able to collect soil sample from their property, 4 different places. That's one soil sample collected from 4 different places in the yard. There is a submission form on there as well. Not asking people to send anything in. There is a collection drop spot that people can drop that off. Results are available within 7 to 10 days from dropping that off. The county will take the soil sample, bring it to the lab. The lab will give results back directly to individuals. Want to also point out that we do have an FAQ section on that webpage that goes through detailed instructions on how to complete the soil sampling. Also has information on how to interpret results, as well as information on the blood lead testing program that we're running through the county. So once again, that web address for folks to go to is publichealth.lacounty.gov, and you're looking for the Eaton Fire Soil Testing Program banner on that homepage. All right, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Quick. And we have next an update from USC Clean. We have a couple of representatives, Sujit Rao and Kat Odendahl.
Thank you very much. If you can advance forward on the slides, I think we have some, yeah, perfect, thank you. So my name is Sujit Rao. I'm the director of the Health and Wellbeing team at USC Public Exchange. If you're not familiar, Public Exchange is a team at USC that leads projects that apply academic expertise towards real-world problems with a focus on social impact. I'm here to talk about our CLEAN project, which is an acronym for Contaminant Level Evaluation and Assessment for Neighborhoods. As mentioned, I'm joined by my colleague, Kat Odendahl, who is a PhD candidate in the Department of Earth Sciences here at USC and is a key member of our research team. In a nutshell, CLEAN is a project that is providing free soil testing and simple guidance about next steps for anyone in the Los Angeles area in the wake of January's wildfires. We are focused on testing soil for lead right now, but we will be testing those samples for other contaminants in the near future. Our effort is separate from the new program from the LA County Department of Public Health, as Dr. Quick just described, but it's very complementary to that program, and it's very similar in structure. I'll talk a little bit more about the project and how it works, and I'll also talk a little bit about what our team has kind of learned so far, and then we'll have lots of time for Q&A later. Before I do that, though, I just want to say this is a rare research collaboration where we can both provide a vital direct service to the community and build a strong research foundation for long-term impact. Next slide, please. So in a nutshell, as I mentioned, the goal with this project is to rapidly evaluate and communicate the lead contamination levels in soils all across the area. A quick note about eligibility: there is no geographic restriction for our program, so anyone in LA County can collect a sample and submit it at no cost. The way that it works is you visit our project website. There's a URL at the bottom of this slide and all the slides in this presentation. You can fill out a survey. It asks some basic questions about where you will be collecting the sample from, and you'll receive a unique 9-digit code that you will write on the bag that you put the sample in. You collect your sample. We have very, very easy to follow instructions about how to do so quickly and safely. And you can drop that sample off either at a drop box that we have in Altadena at grocery outlet, or you could mail it to us at USC as well. We will be setting up more drop boxes in the future. The method that we're using to test these samples is a method called X-ray fluorescence, or XRF. What we do is we dry and sieve the sample to make sure that all the different size particles are sort of separated, and use a machine that reliably tells you and quickly tells you the level of lead that is present in the sample. Next slide, please. I mentioned the drop boxes. I think relevant for this conversation, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see on the map, we have a drop box at Altadena Grocery Outlet. As I mentioned, we will be setting up additional drop boxes in the future, so stay tuned to our website. You can sign up for email updates as well, and you can always reach out with questions. Next slide, please. So zooming out a little bit, what will you learn and what will you see if you do submit a sample? On the left is a screenshot of a public but anonymous spreadsheet that we've created. When we test your sample for lead, we will send an email when the results are ready and let you know that you can look up your ID in the web page and you can see the level of lead that was returned in our results. And on the right hand, along with that email, we are attaching a very simple, actionable guide from the perspective of public health about what you can or what you might do next based on what you learn about the lead in your soil sample. We mentioned the different screening thresholds set by the state of California, which is 80 parts per million, as well as a threshold of 1,000 parts per million, which is at which point is considered hazardous waste. And there's very simple, actionable guidance of what kinds of next steps you could take, including pursuing blood lead level testing offered by the county for free. Next page, please. Zooming out a little bit on kind of what we're seeing so far. So we've received more than 2,500 samples so far. We're doing this all across the county, as I mentioned, but the vast majority of the samples that are being submitted are from the Eaton fire area. Generally, we are seeing, in terms of the lead levels in the samples that we've tested, we've tested more than 1,000 so far. Largely consistent with what the county has found in their separate testing effort. About 60% of the samples have lead levels below the state screening threshold, about 30% somewhere between 80 and 200, and about 10% greater than 200. Next slide, please. In general, zooming out, one thing we've noticed is it's very hard to know ahead of time what the lead level might be in a particular soil sample or in a particular area, which emphasizes the importance of getting testing and why we're so excited to be offering it. We have found a very small number of samples that have very, very high levels of lead. And in those cases, we are reaching out individually to people that have submitted these samples to make sure that they are aware of these results and that they have very clear understanding of what next steps they might take. Next, the other thing I want to mention is just that in general, we have generally found that the levels of lead in soil tend to be higher the closer you are to the Eaton burn zone. And in comparison of the two big fire zones, lead levels tend to be a little bit higher in the Eaton fire zone than they do in the Palisades. And we think that is largely due to a slightly older housing stock, more likely to have lead paint, lead pipes, things like that. Right here, you have our email address for our project team, as well as our project website. Again, please reach out with any questions, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for that very helpful update and that great information. Next, we will be hearing from the San Gabriel Valley Mosquito and Vector Control District, Anais Medina Diaz.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Anais Medina Diaz. I'm the Director of Communications for the San Gabriel Valley Mosquito and Vector Control District. Thank you, Supervisor Barger and the County Public Health Department for allowing us to provide an update this afternoon regarding our continued work of the agency. The fire created unimaginable destruction that continued to affect many residents, but the fire didn't just destroy structures, it created mosquito breeding sources as well. Non-functional swimming pools left behind are ideal sources for mosquitoes to grow in, and one functional pool can create 3 million mosquitoes in 1 month if not addressed. So this afternoon, I'll be discussing why this is a public health risk and how the San Gabriel Valley Mosquito and Vector Control District is responding in an effort to prevent a subsequent public health emergency. Next slide, please. After the fire was contained, district staff flagged all potential sources using aerial imagery. Nearly 3,000 pools were affected in and around the burn area. But since mid-March, staff have been working with multiple agencies and residents to confirm the status or pool conduct treatments. To date, the district is monitoring 1,475 pools in and around the burn area. Next slide, please. This dramatic increase in mosquito sources creates a threat to public health. Mosquitoes are the world's deadliest animal due to the diseases they can transmit. Locally, we identify West Nile virus every year because it is endemic to the region and its primary vector breeds in large sources of water like unmaintained swimming pools. Additionally, we have detected local transmission of dengue in the San Gabriel Valley, a disease with ongoing outbreaks around the world. In 2024, the state confirmed 18 cases of locally transmitted dengue, 11 of which were in the San Gabriel Valley. These stagnant water basins and rising temperatures create a heightened risk for Eaton fire survivors. workers, and San Gabriel Valley residents. Next slide, please. The district immediately developed an operational response. Inaction would have created an escalated health emergency. Our agency has responded with targeted mosquito treatments, increased surveillance, and educational outreach. Additionally, our Board of Trustees authorized participation in LA County's Direct Assessment Disaster Relief Program, which issues refunds of paid benefit assessments. Next slide, please. The district has conducted treatments in 713 pools to date, targeting properties in the perimeter of the burn scar, these properties closest to intact residences. The remaining pools will be treated as resources become available beginning in early June. The pools are being treated with a residual larvicide that can control mosquitoes up to 90 days. This product is target specific and only affects mosquito larvae. It is not harmful to pets, mammals, or birds. The district may also use mosquito fish, which provides longer control. However, this will depend on whether the water is suitable for mosquito fish to survive. Up to 2 additional treatments are necessary to control mosquito populations this year. And overall, mosquito control will be necessary throughout the recovery process if the pools remain non-functional. Next slide, please. If the pool on your property has been treated for mosquito activity, the district placed a sign like this one on your property. Additionally, the district has developed a flyer and website resources to help fire survivors with next steps for their pool. If at any point you have brought your pool back up to date or have emptied out your pool, you can contact the district so that we can either remove the sign or remove the treatment that was in the pool. Next slide, please. In the next couple of weeks, the district hopes to complete the remaining pools in our first phase of treatments. The second treatment will likely begin at the end of June or July. Additionally, staff will continue to monitor mosquito traps for changes in mosquito populations and test mosquito samples for disease activity. To date, mosquito populations have been below the district average, and all samples have tested negative for any disease activity. And we'll be as proactive as we can, collect as much data as we can, and be ready to respond as best as possible. Next slide, please. And lastly, the warmer months do increase mosquito activity throughout the region, not just in the Altadena or Pasadena areas. So it is important to prevent mosquito bites by using an effective repellent. You should purchase a mosquito repellent with one of the 4 active ingredients recommended by the CDC, which include Oilum eucalyptus, DEET, picaridin, or IR3535. Next slide. And thank you for your time this afternoon. The QR code here will direct you to our landing page for our Eaton response. You can find frequently asked questions, how to contact us, or to sign up for alerts on future treatments. Thank you.
Thank you. And just a quick reminder to everyone that is tuning in and watching us using the LA County YouTube channel, please know that we will drop in just a second the link again to submit your questions via the Zoom medium that we're using. So we'll drop in a link so that you can use the question and answer feature in the Zoom application. Moving on, we have a couple of announcements and 2 spokespersons from the United States Postal Service. Welcome to Cipriano Corona and Rod Spurgeon.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Cipriano Corona. I'm the district manager for California Forge, which covers the Altadena, Pasadena area for delivery. So really quick on the immediate response and service restoration for us. Next slide, please. Our commitment to service continuity is USPS will remain dedicated to providing postal service for the Altadena residents. That's our goal. We will do that. We are working on a short-term solution, which is called a CPU, a contract postal unit, and we're actively engaging with local partners to establish a CPU offering essential retail services for our customers. Prioritizing swift implementation to maintain service continuity during the rebuilding efforts. Next slide, please. Our long-term commitment to the Altadena residents is restoring the Altadena post office. We're continuing collaboration with the landlord to rebuild on the original location. He's reached out to us. We've spoken to him, and dedicated to restoring the Altadena Post Office with updated infrastructure and service capability. He's offered this. We'll continue to talk to him, and we will keep you posted. Our commitment to Altadena's future, ensuring USPS remains a trusted and dependable resource for local postal needs, and also reinforcing our role in the community's recovery and long-term success. I believe that's our slides. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll be hearing from Department of Consumer and Business Affairs on tenant protections and support for renters, including habitability standards, and that includes Kevin Chavez and Scott Treader.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to take a minute to thank Supervisor Barger for giving us the opportunity to share an update from our department, the Department of Consumer and Business Affairs. We just want to let folks know that our department is here to help residents recover and rebuild, and our goal is to ensure that constituents and tenants are protected and have access to the necessary resources. We have demonstrated that commitment from our department by deploying a number of disaster service workers to the Altadena Disaster Resource Center, and we will also be staffing full-time the brand new Altadena Resource Center as well. Just want to get into a few of the protections that are in place right now relating to evictions. These are countywide emergency eviction protections that were put into place by the Board of Supervisors. These protections apply to tenants who might be facing eviction for non-payment of rent for tenants that have been directly impacted by the fires. This is for the period between February 1 and July 31, 2025. So if a tenant has lost their work or lost their income, at least 10% or more, they can contact their landlord, let them know, hey, I'm going to have trouble paying the rent. This is the reason why. There are qualifying criteria that the tenants have to meet, in addition to some other requirements. But essentially, the tenant has to present a self-certification form to the landlord to let them know, hey, I'm unable to pay my rent because I've been affected by the fires. And that's what these protections are for. The resolution or these protections do not waive rent, so we want to be clear about that. There's often a misunderstanding about what these protections are or what they're not. They're definitely not a waiver of rent. Tenants are encouraged to pay any amount, even if it's a partial payment, if they're able to do so, and work with their landlord to establish some kind of repayment plan. And that is an overarching recommendation from our unit is to stay in touch, tenants and landlords, keep that communication, keep those lines open, and just ensure you get everything in writing as well, because if things are verbally committed to, it's very hard to go back and prove if someone actually verbally committed to something or not. Outside of the temporary eviction protections, California has a basic law that says that tenants are entitled to a habitable unit that's safe and where they can enjoy themselves. Landlords have an obligation to ensure that units are safe and livable. And landlords do have an obligation, if those units are not in habitable condition, that they need to take steps in order to make those units habitable. These are general statements that I'm making. This pertains to California habitability law. But when it comes down to it on a case-by-case basis, we really have to look at all the details relating to a landlord or a tenant situation so that we know exactly what may or may not apply. As far as jurisdiction goes, the county does have rent control or rent stabilization tenant protections ordinance that applies to the unincorporated parts of LA County. So this does include the Altadena area, which is the county's jurisdiction. So some folks in these areas do have additional protections from the county just for being tenants in these unincorporated parts. In addition to these protections that I'm speaking to, there are other protections from the state relating to price gouging. Price gouging is basically the act of raising prices for basic or major necessities over 10% of the cost that was in existence prior to the state declaring a state of emergency. So if we have instances where prices for things such as rent or for Airbnbs, for instance, they are limited to a 10% increase from what was in place prior to the wildfires that happened. So essentially, if there's suspected price gouging, we encourage folks to contact our office, DCBA. We've investigated almost 2,000 complaints of price gouging, with about 90% of those complaints relating to rent increases. And again, in order for us to evaluate these complaints, we need to get additional details to determine whether or not price gouging has in fact taken place or not. And with that, I think I will wrap it up, and I will turn it back over to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And we're rounding out, for those tuning in, we are rounding out our presentations and continue to use that question and answer feature in Zoom, because we are, in the meantime, as presentations are happening, answering questions live. Next, we have an update from Department of Mental Health, Dr. Michelle Majors.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so we have just ended our psychological first aid groups that we are doing at Octavia's Bookshelf. However, we are still looking to continue that, but at a different location. Hopefully by this week, I'll know what that new location is, and I'll be able to share that with you. We also have members of our team who are reaching out to the schools, specifically 4 schools: John Muir, Pasadena High School, Elliott Middle, and Marshall High School. So they've been working with those schools and with the Pasadena School District to offer mental health support for staff and students. They will most likely be continuing to do that and offering additional workshops and support for teachers and staff as well. And then recently, if you're familiar with Charles Drew University in South Central Los Angeles, there are psychiatry fellows who are interested in helping the community. So they recently reached out to me, and we are in the process of seeing what they're able to do. Most of them want to do therapy with young children. So we're looking at that and seeing what possibilities we can explore with them. And I'll be able to report on that as soon as we have some decisions decided about what exactly they would do and where they would go. The Department of Mental Health has been continuing to support children and families. We had an event where at Loma Alta Park, May 17th, where we had folks doing counseling, mental health interventions, linking to mental health resources. Additionally, coming up, actually this week, is on Loma Alta Park on June 7th. We're going to be hosting a resource table, and we encourage everyone to come and seek out resources. Still having questions or you have any concerns, just feel free to reach out to our staff who will be there at that time. And the only other thing is that we are still reaching out to the Pasadena School District and other school districts that were impacted by the wildfires to give them mental health related resources, to any kind of technical support, in-person trainings and presentations as requested. And that's my report. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Majors. And our last presentation comes from the Department of Economic Opportunity about the Shop Local and other supports for small businesses. Jessica? Or do we have Layla?
Yes, it's actually. Hi, everyone. My name is Layla Lee. I'm the Assistant Director for Business and Economic Development at the Department of Economic Opportunity. For those not familiar with our department, simply put, we focus on those that work, live, and do business in LA County. particularly in the unincorporated areas of the county. So with that, I would like to share with you a initiative that we're working on called Shop Local, Dine Local, Recover Local. Next slide, please. Through the last couple of months, our department has been serving our community through our DCRs, our disaster resource centers. And through this process, we did release a survey for those that were willing to spend time with us to fill out the survey with the city of Los Angeles. And we found through the survey that 72% of businesses impacted by the 2025 wildfires incurred reduced sales and customer traffic. That was more than any other impact, including business closure or anything else. And this continues to be an issue that we are hearing from the community. The same survey also found that 57% of businesses had their revenue decrease more than 50%. So, and 23 had their revenue decrease 26 to 50%. So that's a really huge increase for many, many businesses. With that in mind, to address this issue, next slide, please. Supervisor Barger introduced a motion that was approved on April 1st, 2025, that instructed our department to focus on a regional public awareness campaign, to focus on a shop local, dine local, recover local that promotes the importance of supporting businesses impacted financially by the fire, thereby ensuring their long-term economic resiliency. Next slide, please. So as a response to the motion, our department has been hosting meetings. We convened the cities of Los Angeles, Malibu, Pasadena, and Santa Monica, as well as major organizations such as Regarding Her, Together for LA, California Restaurant Association, Latino Restaurant Association, and the Independent Hospitality Coalition. We've been meeting on a weekly basis rather, and we focus on what a regional public awareness campaign would have to look like. Next slide, please. So these are primary goals: increase customer awareness and the importance of shopping local fire-impacted communities. Also, our second primary goal is to drive consumer spending, increase revenue at local small businesses in those communities. We're doing this through two main strategies. The first one is our summer campaign. We're going to be launching a summer-long social media regional campaign featuring fire-impacted businesses. Then we also do a digital and traditional advertising in physical spaces throughout the county, including bus shelters and buses, etc. And lastly, we also do a campaign pledge where we'll be asking residents and businesses alike to support local small businesses in the region. The second part of this campaign is a Shop Local program. So this Shop Local program will really focus on target areas, and that includes Altadena. So business enrollment, we're going to be asking for businesses to enroll in a Shop Local program through our shoplocal.la website. We'll be promoting businesses through a public-facing business directory. We'll be distributing to those businesses a Shop Local toolkit that is both physical and virtual toolkits with giveaways and resources. And we also plan to launch incentives to shop and enroll businesses such as Shop Local gift cards, activations, and other ways to drive consumers to these businesses that were impacted. As you can see here, this is just a sample of what we're creating. These are our social media campaign. As you can see, it really includes a personalized asset focusing on Altadena. We're also going to be featuring businesses and testimonials from not only elected officials, but the businesses themselves and what they're going through. And we're also going to share upcoming events and promotions in the hopes that more people will drive more traffic to support the local businesses. In addition to that, we are, as I mentioned, we are using public assets and private partnerships to advertise through both digital and traditional advertising avenues. Like as you see here, a bus shelter, but it's also digital signage in public buildings, etc. The Shop Local pledge is now available at shoplocal.la, and you'll capture pledges from individuals, including business owners committed to supporting local businesses. The website itself will also refer visitors to events and promotions taking place throughout the region. Next slide, please. And as you can see here on the left side, this is a map for the Eaton fire area where, and if you see the checkered boxes, this is the specific area that we'll be covering through this target areas strategy. Eligible areas include all of Altadena, as well as immediately adjacent areas, east and north of the 210 freeway, that are also west of Monrovia Wilderness Preserve and south of Altadena. So in summary, these are the benefits to businesses. We'll be promoting the businesses via website, social, and video. We'll be providing gift cards and other ways to incentivize consumer purchases through these businesses. And we'll also be providing shop local toolkits with swag and connection to available resources. And here's, this is our call to action. If you know anyone that's willing to support, please share this. We are asking people to pledge, promote local businesses, donate to this effort, and donate to the incentive program as well. And I'll pass it on to my colleague, Kate LaCounty. Kate?
I'm not seeing her on, so Layla, why don't you just close this out and we'll transition
no
to question
problem.
and answer.
Yeah,
Thank you.
another amazing program that everyone should consider is also our Youth at Work program. This program, it helps LA County youth ages 14 to 24 to explore near career pathways and earn $17.28 per hour through Youth at Work, the work program. As you can see here, if you can visit bit.ly/DO Youth at Work, there's plenty of opportunities for anyone that's looking for a job or just looking for opportunities, especially during the summer. And again, it's our opportunity to not only help those that are looking for jobs, but also businesses that maybe are looking to hire, but don't necessarily have the financial means to hire at this time. And with that, I'll close it out. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now transition to a rapid fire question and answer session, and I will be asking questions that were submitted in advance first. We have one here for the Sheriff's Department. The community is very concerned about public safety in Altadena. What is being done to curb criminal activity and those efforts that have those efforts led to any arrests and reduction in crime? And we have Acting Captain Ethan Marquez with the Sheriff's Department.
Thank you very much for the question. Initially, during the fires, I've talked about before, the fires, the home burglaries skyrocketed. And but we're tending to see the numbers trend down now. The home burglary numbers from April from March we're down approximately 28%, and then May from April, the preliminary numbers are also down another 27%. So we're trending them down and continuing to do that, and that's based on a lot of our efforts. We still have a lot of extra deputies in Altadena. We're doubling, tripling, and even sometimes quadrupling the number of deputies working in Altadena to curb those statistics. And we're still focusing on data-driven criminal enforcement strategies. The deputies are being very proactive. We still have our public engagement programs with Altadena Home Check at LEC.org and Altadena Tips at LEC.org. We've partnered recently with the California Highway Patrol. They are doing a lot of commercial and traffic enforcement. We're reestablishing the Block Captain program to help with neighborhood watch issues. This is basically criminal enforcement works best when we partner with the community, and law enforcement is really just the most effective is when the community is involved with us and working together. Recently, last week, we started our summer team, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me, we started the summer team program again. And so we have deputies just dedicated to proactive enforcement in Altadena. We'll be bringing other teams in from around the county to help us out. We also have the Community Partnerships Bureau coming in to help us, bringing special teams in throughout the week. We still continue with our crime suppression operations periodically. And then either tomorrow or the next day, we'll be publishing our trespassing video, highlighting things that the community can do to protect their houses from trespassing, and also give law enforcement the tools to arrest people that trespass on their property. But we are still planning on the next phases during the rebuild on how we could make sure that we're prepared when we have a number of construction going on in Altadena, a number of properties being constructed, and we want to make sure that we're prepared for that. So we're still working on strategies and to help us with criminal suppression during those operations. But last week we had a very successful criminal suppression operation. We resulted in 15 arrests, 13 misdemeanors, and 2 felonies. The 2 felonies were a result of a home burglary that we caught right almost in front of the location right after it happened. And we were able to take those people into custody immediately. But some of the other great things we've done in the past month in May is there was a burglary alarm that went off, and we were able to catch the burglar suspect just within a block of the house. Because we have so many deputies driving around Altadena, and they're being so proactive that they were able to respond just in minutes after the alarm. They notified us of the alarm going off. During May, we also saw a vehicle driving erratically in Altadena. Because of the way the suspect was operating the vehicle, we tried to pull it over. The suspect did not want to stop, and then we went in pursuit of that vehicle. That vehicle pursuit ended in Altadena, and while we were detaining the suspect and we were doing a field sobriety test because they were intoxicated under the influence of not only alcohol but it appears narcotics. That suspect, we determined that suspect had recently committed a carjacking, kidnapping, and assault, a deadly weapon, and that suspect was also linked to multiple burglaries in Altadena. So those are just some of the things we're doing. We're doing being very proactive and arresting these people that are coming in to harm our residents in Altadena. We also were doing a home check, and we caught another person that was inside a home during a home check, and we were able to take that person into custody. And then recently too, there was deputies observed a vehicle being stolen, and were able to go in pursuit. And we arrested that suspect shortly thereafter in Pasadena. But those are just some of the things we're doing, and I'm very happy to say that our home burglaries are trending down significantly compared to what initially after the fire. And I think that's about it for right now.
Thank you very much, Captain Marquez. And unfortunately, we are a little over time. So again, thank you to everybody who joined us. For those of you that are on Zoom, when you exit this meeting, if you'd like to provide your email address, we will continue to keep in touch with you and provide follow-up information. As always, if you'd like to receive more up-to-date information, we are updating the county's website dedicated to Altadena's recovery. That link is recovery.lacounty.gov/Altadena, where you will be able to find information including which departments are participating at the new address where the local disaster recovery center has now been instituted, which includes not just the Department of Mental Health, but also the county's small business group, Department of Consumer Business Affairs, Public Works, and others. So again, all that information is posted on recovery.lacounty.gov/Altadena. Thank you all for joining. Signing off.